All right, so the great debate is whether NFL head coaches should go for two after scoring a touchdown to cut into a 14-point deficit. Our New York Post NFL reporter Ryan Dunleavy has an article out on the Post where the analytics breaks down the reasoning. So are you guys with going with your gut or are you with going with the numbers? Let's discuss. Dunleavy, what's up, man? How you feeling today, man?
What's up, Brandon?
Look, this has never really been a huge discussion, but Brian Daboll has gone for two in the past two games, and they've got nothing out of it. So first, what do the analytics say about it, and what are you doing if you wore the headset?
I'm going for two. To me, it comes down to, are you trying to tie the game or are you trying to win the game? And if you get the first 2-point conversion, then all you need is one defensive stop, another touchdown, and a successful PAT to take the lead and theoretically win the game. And then if your 2-point conversion fails, you just need one defensive stop, another touchdown, and a successful 2-point conversion to get to the same place you would be on two PATs. So to me, that risk is worth the reward. So kicking two PATs means that you then have to get you bring more possessions into the game, Brandon. So now you're tied. You have to get a second defensive stop and a third score to take the lead. So basically, you're just trying to win the game without going to overtime or without playing for a tie by going for two. And historically, over the last 10 years, 2-point conversions are successful about 48% of the time. So that's 1 and 2, essentially. If you get the first one, you don't even need to try the second one. If you don't get the first one, odds are you should get the second one. So that's why coaches do it.
I'm going to play it safe, though, and I'm going for one and just taking the points. But I guess I could say there's an asterisk by that because it depends on who my quarterback is and who I have on offense, who I have in terms of my weapons. Because if we're talking about one play from the 3-yard line where the defense knows what's about to happen, it's already hard to score points or touchdowns in the red zone, and that's from the 20 in. But from the 3 in, I guess it all depends. I have to have a guy who is like, all right, he can play above the X's and O's and can make a big boy play for me. So I guess it all depends. All right, so we're still talking about this because it wasn't just Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll went for the two. Monday night on Monday Night Football, Bucs head coach Todd Bowles kicked the extra point to go to OT instead of going for two to try and win it. Kind of a different scenario. We know the Chiefs won the toss. Mahomes and crew marched down and they scored. Are you going on the analytics on that one, or are you going against Patrick Mahomes and trying to put it away?
I think you made a good point there, on both sides of that argument, Brandon. So I think everything in football, everything in life really comes down to context. And like you said, for the Giants, they don't have an explosive quarterback. They don't have an explosive offense. So they're trying this. I agree with the math and the thinking, but they don't have the personnel to do this. So I'm not sure I would do it if I was the Giants. I'm not sure. I would definitely do it if I was the Chiefs, though they're rarely down 14 points. But say the Bills or even other teams, the Cowboys, teams where I have the guy that one-on-one is going to win this matchup. The other side of that is, would I do it against the Chiefs? Absolutely. I want the ball in Patrick Mahomes' hands the least amount possible. Monday Night Football, Todd Bowles essentially kicks a PAT, ties the score, and the Chiefs and the Bucs never see the ball again. Patrick Mahomes gets a possession at the end of regulation, essentially runs out the clock, win the coin toss, go down, score. So, yeah, you have to consider who's on your team, who's on the other side. I want the ball in Patrick Mahomes' hand. I'm going for it if I have him. If I'm on the other side, I don't want it in his hand. I'm going for it to keep him off the field. I'm going to win the game with my offense, not with my defense having to stop the greatest player of this generation.
Yeah, you got to think about how conflicted Bowles was because, again, one side, it's like, I do not want to risk that chance of giving the ball to Patrick Mahomes. But on the other side, Chris Godwin's out. Mike Evans is out. So my two weapons or my guys who I'm for sure this ball, I'm going to the Jimmys and Joes, not the X's and O's. those guys are out. So what am I going to do? And then, I mean, you know, he kicked the extra point, and you know, history kind of just wrote itself. But as like Mike Tomlin said, that's why you get paid the big bucks. That's why those NFL.
And that's why teams go for the 2 down 14. They go all circles back, Brandon, because you don't want to be your fate to be decided by an overtime coin toss. And as much as the Bucs' fate was decided by Patrick Mahomes, it was decided by an overtime coin toss.
All right, let's get into some of this trade stuff. The NFL trade deadline is today at 4 p.m. Zadarius Smith went to the Lions. I think we kind of saw that coming. Is there anything else you think we should keep an eye on, not only around the league, but here with Jets and Giants?
I mean, it's possible Mike Williams gets traded from the Jets, though that's been rumored now for 3 weeks, and it doesn't seem like they're getting the price they want. Azeez Ojulari, I think, is a real candidate to get traded from the Giants. There are reports out there that the Giants won't budge on their asking price, which seems to be higher than a 6th-round pick. I think that's foolish because you're not definitely going to get a comp pick for him. And even if you do, that's in 2026, not in 2025. But comp picks work as a formula of offsets. So what, the Giants aren't going to sign any free agents this offseason that they're definitely going to get a comp pick? The Giants are going to go crazy in free agency. They have a major talent infusion to this roster. So I think they should get something while they can for Ojulari, who I think is a good young pass rusher. They don't grow on trees, but this team has so many holes that I can't see them resigning third edge rusher when they need a right guard, a wide receiver, a safety, a corner. To me, it's not about right now. They should pick up the extra pick for Ojulari, and maybe they use it as the end of a package to trade up on draft day.
All right, all eyes are on Joe Shane and Joe Douglas to see how active they are before the 4 p.m. deadline. Ryan Dunleavy, thanks for hopping on with us.
Thanks, Brandon.